Hey guys, Akari here, and in this video, I'm going to tell you why you shouldn't rely on AI when shadow operating. So I've seen some people push the fact that you can use AI to basically do the entire work on the back end. You can, put your feet up and do a couple hours a week and let AI do everything for you. I'm here to tell you that's not true and that's complete BS. They are selling you a lie and selling you a dream, because the reality is this business model is dealing with humans, okay? So when you're reaching out to the influencer, they don't want to see some AI message. They want to see a message that looks like a human or a voice note that's from a human. And then when you're selling to the audience of the influencer, they want a product that's built for them and that understands their pain points and desires, not some generic AI PDF, okay? So I'm going to start off by saying that. And the fact is, if you want to make this business work and you want to make a lot of money doing shadow operating, then you need to be involved in the process. And of course, AI is great and it's a tool that we will be using, and you can use it along the way, but it's not at the point yet, or at least at this stage, where it can replace everything, okay? So firstly, shadow operating is built on trust, not the actual output. So what I mean by that is, if you're using ChatGPT to actually send the message to the influencer, or in the actual website copy itself, and you're not personalizing it to the audience, all these different things will definitely show, and it will look very generic and non-human like, you could say. So why this is not a good thing is because the influencer will be able to tell that the content that you create or the message that you send them is not authentic. And I know this because I've had a client of mine basically reply to an influencer who was interested, but they used ChatGPT to write the message, and they could instantly pick up like that the fact that they didn't write it, it was a ChatGPT message, and it was, and this completely killed the trust and basically destroyed the chance of them ever having a partnership with that person. So that's exactly why you don't want to use ChatGPT for your messages. And to be honest, if you do launch a product with an influencer and they say they agree, and say you launch it and it's all AI or whatever, like a PDF or something, the audience and the people paying for that are going to be able to tell, and it's such a bad look for the influencer. In fact, you could almost be damaging their reputation by doing something like this, because they're going to know it's not made by the influencer. And the beauty of, the type of offers that I teach, where it's kind of community based and course, where the actual influencer themselves are providing video content, goes to show that it's not AI. And actually, the more AI advances, the more valuable the type of offer that I teach will become. Because if you think about it, when everything is getting to the point where it looks so real and AI gets so good at, creating videos, there's even AI influencers now on Instagram that look almost like a human. So we're getting to a point where things become indistinguishable from each other. So what really will become valuable in that stage is a community and real people. People will start to crave intimacy and, real human touch, because when you have a bunch of AI influencers, robots, you don't know what's real, what's not. When there's community of real people in there talking about their problems, interacting with each other, making friends, this will only become more valuable over time. So it's in your best interest to, build an offer that actually not only stands the test of time with AI, but also brings value to the people and can just last for many years. But just to bring it back to what I was talking about, so when you are making the offer for the influencer, you really want to understand the audience's pain points and understand the influencer themselves and their brands and what they want to get across and what value they want to provide. And this is something that really requires a human touch. So yeah, that's the first point I wanted to make. Now, if I move on to kind of the next point, which is, if you use AI for everything, it literally makes you a commodity, right? What's the value in you anymore if AI is doing all the work? And the thing is, this will backfire on you if your entire operations is AI driven, because basically any virtual assistant can come and replicate your system, right? They can go ahead and send AI messages. They can build a PDF with AI. you're not special anymore. And that's a problem because the influencer will start to question like, what, wait a sec, why am I giving them, 30 to 40% revenue share if I can just message ChatGPT? Like why would they do that? So you really need to stand out, especially in 2026. And it's kind of like a death spiral, you could say, where firstly, you rely on AI to do everything. And then next, the output of that will be generic and mediocre. It's not actually going to deliver value to anyone. And the influencer will notice that and then basically want to replace you with someone else. Or do it themselves because they can do that, right? So you really need to deliver value to the audience and also to the influencer for them to even want to consider a partnership. And you can only do that by demonstrating how you can actually provide value. And if you are serious about shadow operating and it's a business model you've been looking into or maybe tried and you haven't seen results yet, well, I do encourage you to click that first link in the description. You can apply to work with me one-on-one. I do have limited spots because I only want to work with serious people. So maybe you've been trying this for many months and you haven't found success and you're just sick of wasting time, then I do encourage you to apply. But back to what I was saying before, the way you become irreplaceable and you could say exclusive from AI is by having that strategic thinking. So knowing exactly what kind of offer to build for an influencer, understanding their audience and their pain points through like the process that I teach in my mentorship. And then also just building a relationship with the influencer over time because, you're essentially in a partnership and you'll be messaging them over many months. And this is something an AI can't do. And that's why they will value you because you're delivering like your judgment, your experience, and being with them along the process. And I think the next thing I wanted to touch on was like, if you are using AI for everything or you're in like some group program that teaches this, you got to realize you're competing with thousands of others doing the exact same thing. So look, if you've seen a video or like you're in a program where there's so many people all doing the same thing, then let me ask you honestly, like what's your competitive advantage? You're using AI when anyone in the world can do that. You're following a method that thousands of people are doing. What makes you stand out? So that's something I really want you to think about. Now, another problem with just using AI is that having that over-reliance kills your skill development, and like you might be able to write, website copy or let's say like email sequences or whatever, but you won't actually know why it works or not. And if something goes wrong, you'll have no idea how to fix it. And you don't know what to test and you don't know what to optimize because you didn't even know at the start like what you were actually building or what you're doing. So that's why it's so important to actually develop these skills yourself. Of course, you can use AI to speed up the execution, but I'm talking about the fundamentals here. So set up a funnel yourself, write email copies, send it out, see how it works, write web text on the website and like see if that convinces people to go to the next step. Like do the things yourself and then use AI to speed it up or enhance it. Like don't start with it and then if something goes wrong, like I said, you won't know how to fix it. And here's another thing, like when you're reaching out to influencers and if you're using like these messages that are AI or, like if you try to get them on as a partner, there is a call involved there where you will need to be face to face with this person. And if you don't know what you're talking about and the vibe comes across on that call like you don't really know for sure, that will instantly kill any chance of a partnership because the biggest reason why an influencer will want to work with you is one, that they trust you know what you're doing, and two, that there's real conviction in the fact that you can actually build a digital product and make this happen for them. If you're using AI for everything, you won't even be confident in your ability to deliver everything, and you won't even know the real process and the real value. So it's super important to, like I said, develop these skills yourself, understand the entire process, work with someone who's actually done this business model at a 7-figure scale, and basically like do things properly so that you can actually secure a partnership and actually make this business work. Because this business does work, but only if you do it the right way and not automate everything. So that's kind of like the main things I wanted to cover. And people are getting smarter nowadays and can detect whether something is written with AI or not. So that's exactly why I wanted to come and make this video, because I've spoken to a lot of people saying that they wanted to use AI for everything. I feel that's quite a lazy way to remove themselves from any work and get passive income, you could say. And also the fact that some of my clients have made this mistake where they could have secured a partnership, but because they used AI, it killed that opportunity. So that's kind of why I wanted to make this video. And look, I'm not trying to say AI is useless. I think it's a very, very useful tool, and that we should be using it to work smarter and harder, not as a reason to work less. I think that mindset of looking at it is quite lazy, because there's two ways you can use AI. One, to do less, or two, to do more, right? And I think if you want to be successful, you should use it to do more. But at the end of the day, look, AI is a calculator, not a strategist. You wouldn't ask your calculator, build a digital offer, all right? Or give me a business strategy and figure it out. No, you'd put some inputs in that you already know and let it calculate for you. So basically you use it to speed up what you already understand. So I hope what I said makes sense today. And the reason why it's so important to understand is because shadow operating is a high trust, high judgment business. And influencers are smart. If they're on the phone with you, like on a call, they can tell if you know what you're talking about or not. And the audience will be able to tell if the product is good or not. So yeah, I hope you found value. Please like, subscribe, and see you on the next one.